Hello, woman. You're welcome to Soul Sisters right here on Smooth 98.1, where we love music and we love life. Thank you for joining us and thank you for staying tuned to 98.1. It's a Wednesday, and guess what? It's the final day in the month of April 2025. So it means that we're ending it on a high. It's now time for us to discuss everything that relates to the woman, and it is Soul Sisters, Wednesdays from 11 till 11:50. That's what we do right here on Smooth 98.1. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun. We're currently live on YouTube, so you can go to our YouTube page, and that means you would see my face and the face of my guest. That will be at Smooth 981 FM Lagos, at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. If you're following us on social platforms from Instagram to Twitter, Facebook, you would have seen the flyer telling you who my guest is and the conversation that we'll be having from now till 11:50. If you're also a part of our WhatsApp family, it means that you would have taken the time to go to our status to check what we have lined up, and you would have seen the flyer. But just in case you have not done any of the above, this morning, we're going to be talking about the art of thriving. And my guest is an author who wrote a book titled Limitless, The Art of Thriving. So it's only fair and right that we dive and dig into what it means to thrive as a woman. And she is the managing director of Hallmark HMO. She is Mrs. Oladotun Adeogun. Good morning.
Good morning, Sheung. Good morning, everybody.
Thank you for joining us this morning. So let's get right into it and understand what it means to thrive as a woman in this present day and time.
Well, where do we start from? Okay, so being a woman is challenging in itself because we're in some instances they say you're supposed to be seen and not heard. In other instances, you are like an object of, for presentation, because you are a woman, you have a beautiful face, you have the curves and all that. So we always find ourselves in the midst of controversies, so to say. And for you to thrive as a woman is to, irrespective of those um, things that has been labeled against you, to keep moving, to making the right steps towards the right direction, to achieve your goals as a woman, to believe in yourself if nobody else believes in you, knowing that you want to do something and you are determined to do it, and not allowing people's opinion about you to dictate where you get to in life. Yes, you will have challenges because as a woman, health-related challenges comes with age. From a young age, you start menstruating, and unlike the boys, you'll have to be off school for some days because of that. But you must still rise above that. So women deal with self-confidence issues, women deal with trying to assert themselves where other men are thriving. It's like women they don't have a say. They said we don't have a seat at the table, but a woman must ensure that she pushes herself and seeks to be heard, seek to be seen, and make her impact known wherever she finds herself.
Mm, thank you. Now, you have mentioned some of the limitations that maybe exist as a result of societal structure or maybe biological or whatever it is, the possible limitations. But in addition to that, are there some specific maybe walls that the woman needs to break down for her to thrive? Plus, what are the possible challenges to her thriving as a person before, being a woman?
Yeah. So in my book, I mentioned some things that can influence women or influence us generally, whether you're a woman or a man, your cultural and social context. The fact that you are brought up in a particular tradition or way of life. I just mentioned one that the woman is supposed to be seen and not heard. So there are some cultures that when they want to take a decision, they don't call the women, it's just the men. And you find out that when you are growing up as a child, you were not given a voice. So those limitations are the walls that you need to break. You must be able to say, hey, I also have an opinion. I have a say, you know. When you get to school, you are in the midst of boys and girls. Don't say because of your cultural background, then you are not going to have an opinion. You're not going to have a position about what is going on. And then your own personal passion and interest is another context that helps you to determine whether there are walls around you. You have a passion to be an engineer and you feel that is a male-dominated profession. And because of that, you stifle your own interest because you want to conform to what everybody says. But you must rise above that. You must tell yourself that this is who I want to be. I know that there is a story about a lady in America who is a Formula One driver also, and everybody is against her because she's striving to be different. All right. So those are limitations that you need to pull down. Educational walls that or professional walls that people put against you or build against you. You must challenge it. You must say no. You must ask yourself, is this the interest I have? What do I need to do to thrive in it? How do I need to increase my understanding of that particular area of life? And then social interactions. So the fact that you are an extrovert or an introvert does not make you a disease or a virus to other people. It's about you breaking the walls. There are stereotypes that people put and say, because you are outspoken, then you must be this, that. Because you have gotten to this level, it must be because you did A, B, C. As a woman, you need to speak out. You need to let people know and let people see what you have inside of you. You have competencies, you have the skills, you have the intelligence. Let it show forth so that nobody says it's because she's always carrying out, dressing this way, because she's favored by the boss. That's why she's getting it. No, break those stereotypes, break those walls. Those are barriers. So those are three barriers that I really think that women need to watch out for, especially women.
Before I come back to you and how you were able to get to where you are now, let me circle back to something that you said, and it's about societal or cultural upbringing and the likes. And so let's narrow it to the mom. I'm not bringing the fathers into it now, the mother. And this is in reference to something you mentioned in your book, how your mom's personality somehow shaped how you took on and how you saw life. So highlight the role of the mother in shaping the worldview of the children, the female child.
Thank you very much. So in my book, I mentioned the fact that I grew up in a home with both parents working. They were working in the university. My father was a professor, but my mother was an administrative officer. And we wake up, everybody gets ready on time. She drops us in school. She goes to her work. And at times, maybe when I'm not feeling well, she takes me to her office. I see her in her office, professional and all that. You can't grow up in that kind of environment and now settle down and say, well, yes, I went to school, I read so and so, but I'm just going to be a housewife. There is nothing wrong in being a housewife, okay? I think we've mentioned this before. If it's a choice you take because you want to spend time with your children or for whatever reason, it's fine. But if it is fostered on you because your partner says you cannot work, you have to be at home, I'll take care of you, I say no, okay? I say no because I believe that a woman should express herself. You should not be boxed into a corner. I know women that have been successful in their careers and took a career break and are home. Some are doing professional courses, some are writing, they are having their PhD programs done. Some are focusing on something else, okay? But it's like something you intend to do or you are trying to find yourself, not necessarily because you are being boxed into a corner. My mother's role was, and a mother's role, I am also a mother, and my daughter is also working right now. There are days that we call each other. She's working from home, I'm working from home, and we're talking, and somebody calls, you are responding to a call. In fact, she said, wow, this is profound. My mother and myself working, and we're enjoying each other's company. You see, the confidence that work gives you Even the Bible says it. A man that does not work should not eat. There is value that he gives to you, intrinsic value that a woman gets from fulfilling herself. I just spoke with a young lady who went to see her mother, and she expressed concern about her mother doing farming work. And the mother said, no, please allow me. She makes her gari, she makes her palm oil, she makes everything by herself. And she eats it, and she's enjoying herself. Now, you can imagine taking that woman out of that environment to a place where she just sits down and presses the television to be changing channel. She's not going to last. But another woman who grew up in the environment where she sits in the AC, she sits down, watch all the home videos and everything, and then in the evening, she takes a walk. She's used to it. So her life has been defined by it, and she's fine with it. So every woman defines their life through the experiences they go through, okay? And when they grow into it, they embrace it, and people know them for who they are. As a woman, you must be intentional in building the lives of the women around you, your girl child, your other sisters. They must be able to see something in you that they say, oh, I would like to be like this person because she's a role model in this area. And the only way you can do that is by building the right value system. What are the values you build in life? What are the things that matter to you? And how are you intentional about showing it forth to other people? You know, there's a difference between you say something and then you practice it. When you practice it, people see that you are able to do it, and they also emulate you. It doesn't mean that everything is going to be smooth. Okay, your family life will be, everybody will be hanging in the balance because you are trying to build a career. No, you make adjustments to be able to accommodate things that are important to you. So lead by example, help others in showing, or rather show forth so that others can see how you are able to do it. And then show your humanity also. So women, you have your emotions. So there are times you get angry, you express it. There are times you cry. So you show your emotions. Let it be real that you are also a human being and you're struggling with some things. But how you're able to challenge other people is that they see the authenticity in you, and they want to be like you because they feel like, wow, if you can do all this in spite of all the challenges, then I can also dream and thrive to be better. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll definitely go back to that emotional wellness and the mental clarity later. Well, I don't want to lose this point. And it's still about parenting, especially women and the men raising balanced women in the future. So I'm concerned about perpetuating cycles and patterns. Now, will there be a checklist of things that you would say a woman who currently is not thriving would have so that she can spot the patterns and not pass it on to a female child?
That's quite deep, you know. Are there perpetuating patterns? Yeah, so really, the way I would like us to look at this is to ask ourselves, I mean, the simple mathematics about life, you know, that if you prepare for an exam, what will happen? You're supposed to pass it. But you find out there are times you prepare for an exam and you still fail it.
Yeah.
Now, the character formation that comes from that experience of failure is that you reflect, you come back again and ask yourself, okay, I read and yet I failed. Why? What happened? Is it that I didn't put enough time into my preparation? Is it that my learning skills, I need to improve it here and there? So you reflect on why you failed. So perpetuating patterns, what are the things I've seen that I didn't like in the person ahead of me? Where are the areas I can improve on? So it's about deep thinking, you know, problem-solving skills. Apply those problem-solving skills to determine what patterns you feel that you can improve on. Our parents were fine with being civil servants. Most of us are working in corporate organizations now, which is private businesses. The generation below mine are doing multi-jobs, you know. They have their day job, they have their other jobs, they have their other interests, and they're combining it and they're doing it very well, you know. So those are the things that happens. You look at the future, you look at the past, what wasn't done well, which areas can I improve on? And then based on that, you make adjustments. but does not mean that you will not struggle at times. You will not have failures at times, which in my book, I shared several experiences of failures I've had and how I was able to overcome them. One very, very important one was the same thing about the exam, a particular exam that I did the first time, the second time, the third time before I passed it. And what I needed to do was to change my mode of preparation, and then after that, I was able to pass the exams. So at times you may need a mentor, you may need a coach to guide you in your career. Don't say you know it all and you don't need help. Those are the things you need to watch out for. What are the things that I am not doing well, that I need help with? So that if I get help from the people or the places where I think the help will come from, then I can thrive.
Mm.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I would say about the patterns and how a woman should not see herself as not thriving. It's about, okay, where am I struggling? And if I'm struggling in this area, what do I need to do? I started a business and I realized that I was not, it was consuming me and I had to stop it, count my loss and move on. Now, did I seek help? Did I ask other people, oh, how do you do this? It was the particular type of business I was. So it wasn't that I didn't know how to run a business or anything. It was just that that particular business required a lot of attention, which I couldn't give it. And
Mm.
because of that, I had to take the most honorable thing to do, which is to pack it up and continue my daytime job. So thriving is for you to reflect, review. How am I doing this? How are others doing it? Is there a help I can seek somewhere? Is there a way I can improve on it so that I can get better? And then I can see I'm thriving. Also on the home front, you are juggling too many balls together. But again, patterns. Growing up, I grew up with aunties, a lot of aunties. I mean, everybody was home. So this one is taking care of this, that one is taking. In my own generation, I don't have so much of, relatives who will come and stay with me. So I must work out what works for my own family. How do I seek help? Do I need to get a nanny? Do I need to get a help? Do I need to look for a daycare? Different options, all to help me thrive so that I can focus on those things that are important or things that I feel I need to do at that particular point in time.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have achieved many things, I dare say. I mean, you're an author and you are the managing director of Hallmark HMO. You've switched jobs and done many things. So, in addition to some of those things you've shared, what are some philosophies you would say helped you to rise up to where you are now without dropping any or many balls?
Okay, so the first thing is my belief system. I believe that I mean, the first chapter of my book, there's a graph or an image which says, know yourself, choose yourself, give yourself.
Mm.
And it's a circle, and the circle emphasizes the fact that it's a continuous process. It's a journey, and you are not there yet, you are not there yet. So I'm still on that journey, but I'm asking myself on a daily basis, do I know myself? Am I walking the talk? And knowing myself means that I'm aware, I have self-awareness, which helps me with clarity. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? I don't say because I want to be like that person I saw on social media, that LinkedIn profile. I now jettison all that I have in terms of my strengths and then start looking for how to be. That's a journey. I mean, that's a race that I can never win. So it's about walking within my strengths and growing within it, facing the challenges to help me move on. At times, you
Mm.
need to keep a journal because it helps you to reflect where you were last year, where you are now, what areas can you improve on, what skills do you need.
Mm.
Now, I choose myself, meaning that I take action, how I influence myself and others around me. I'm very intentional. When I realized that was how many years ago, I can't remember now, but the particular job I was on and I was going to leave, And somebody started crying. And I was like, I'm the one leaving the job. Why are you crying? And she said, well, we're working on, you are helping me to push this particular proposal. And now that you are going, it's dead on arrival. And it struck me that, oh, it goes beyond me. It's not just about me when I'm working in an environment. It's the impact I create in the lives of the people that I work with.
Mm,
It's a weight of responsibility. And up till now, it's still a humbling experience for me, even up till now, because on a daily basis, you hear feedbacks and you're like, well, even me, I mean, I was like, am I sure? But this is somebody who's saying, look, I'm taking this decision because I believe that you would want me to do this way. That puts a whole lot of responsibility on you. The fact that you are influencing other people and they are taking their career decisions based on how you are guiding them, then give yourself a reason to do it. You must have a vision and a mission, and you must have something you are pursuing on a daily basis. And as I said, it's a circle, meaning that you can never arrive there and say, I'm there, and then I sit. You can bet me, I mean, I can bet you that once you take one step, you discover that you still have 3 more or 4 steps ahead of you. Deliver your reason, put more energy into being the person that God wants you to be. Because it is not about you. It's about who God wants you to be, how He wants you to impact the lives of people around you.
mm. Thank you. That will lead us to the talk of mentorship, which you already mentioned. So, what is your take on mentorship and how it influences a person's growth in every aspect of their life?
Okay, my take on mentorship is that I have 1 or 2 regrets on it because I didn't start early. You know, I wished I had started much earlier than I did. But eventually, when I did start mentoring and had my first mentor, it was a very, very wonderful experience because my mentor did not tell me do it this way, do it that way. He just provided a platform to say, what are your goals? What are the things
Mm,
you want to do? What do you need to do to get it? These are like, okay, this is me. This is what I have done. And what do you think you want to do? Where do you want to go? So a mentor helps to provide guidance. It's like you are leveraging on the experience, the skills, the years of experience that other people have that you don't have. And in my book,
mm,
I shared 1 or 2 experiences of people that, and it's not only corporate mentoring, even personal, you know, personal life decisions in terms of managing career and all that. I mean, a lady told me to say, look, acquire those equipments that will help you manage your other life. So the washing machines, the microwaves, the this and that is not to make you, it's not that you are lazy, it's that you are more efficient. Okay. Gone are the days that you think that you must do everything by yourself. I've not gone to the market in months, not because I don't need to go to the market, but because I have outsourced somebody to help me to do the market. If I need to go, I will go and I can go. Okay. I do my cooking myself. If I need to outsource it, I can outsource it because I can leverage on the skills and the capacity of people around me. So what mentoring does is to open your eyes to various opportunities that you never on your own would have seen been there.
mm,
And after being mentored, you cannot just sit down. You become a mentor too, because you have enjoyed the benefits. You want others to enjoy the benefits of always showing them how, what to do, guidance. So the role of mentoring is very important. And nobody, whether woman or man, should, run their life without a mentor. And not only one mentor, you need mentor for different things. The same way a sportsman needs a coach, a career woman needs a mentor. A young woman coming up, building her home needs an older woman to manage the challenges, the cultural issues, and the demands of running it.
8.1.
Yeah.
Are you, all right. Thank you very much. Can you hear? I think there was a little bit of internet
Oh, okay. You
disruptions.
didn't hear me.
I heard
better.
the major parts of your chat.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we'll take a breather, and when we come back, I'd like to talk about the role of a supportive spouse because the woman is not in isolation. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the role of the man in the life of a woman and also something for the single women. Plus, when we talk about a supportive husband, what do we mean? So we'll talk about that right after this. In case you're joining us, we are talking about the art of thriving right here on Smooth 90.1. The name of the show is Soul Sisters, and you're welcome to chime in. Let's know what's on your mind as touching this discussion. The WhatsApp line to send your messages to is 0809 4440981. You can join us on YouTube at Smooth 981 FM Lagos, at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. That's the handle you're searching for on YouTube. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Jody, and you've got only the best soul, R&B, funk.
All right, so we'll just take some seconds break and we'll be back.
All right.
Music live. 98.1. You're tuned in. The Quiet Storms. R&B music.
R&B for the real fans of R&B.
Tune in to the best of smooth R&B. Music doesn't change.
R&B is transitional right now. Singing and melody and lyrics that mean something.
Soul music for the night. The Smooth Session on Smooth 98.1. Mondays to Thursdays from 8 p.m.
This is Ledisi, and you're on Nigeria's #1 station for soul, jazz, and funk. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life.
We're back. All right, we're back.
All right.
Love music, love life. You are listening to Soul Sisters on Smooth 98.1, and we are talking about the art of thriving. My guest this morning is Mrs. Oladotun Adeogun, and we are talking about that. So you're welcome to join the conversation or ask any question that you have. And so far, we've discussed many things that involves what thriving is as a woman and some of the limitations, from the limitations that are external to the self-limiting beliefs as well. We've highlighted some of those things and what can be done as you are navigating and how to get yourself back up. Now we need to understand the woman, the role of the man in the life of the woman, because the woman is not on her own. She's not a standalone entity. So when we talk about the need to have a supportive husband or how a supportive husband helps you in thriving as a woman, what does that entail?
Well, for me, it's been a blessing, having a husband that supports your career. He's like your cheerleader. So, and I would say this because, there are other women that are not married. Your cheerleader, your husband, for the married women, your husband should be your main cheerleader. But for those who are not married, you must have friends, that you can confide in, friends that are close and, bonded with you and are ready to, help you. Because we human beings are created to coexist. Nobody is an island. Nobody survives as an island. So you need relationships. And that is a major part of this book, relationships. You must be intentional about building relationships. Now, for your husband, the major issue that women have, and that has affected, in fact, I have examples of women before they were married, how their careers were thriving, and immediately got married, everything fizzled out because of the impact of that man. Now, you will need a man that is concerned about you, that wants you to excel in your own career too, and supports that. Now, supporting that is the main thing. Supporting means that he's sacrificing his own time to be available for you. He's sacrificing his own time to close the gap when you are not there. He's open, or rather, he's open to you not being there and somebody else providing some of the support that you ordinarily should provide. So in my own case, One very, very important one was the fact that when I was going to go for my master's in Ibadan, I had to go with my daughter. So, and of course, I was living in my parents' house, but my husband got a car for me. And that car was like a blessing because, I mean, I'll have to take the baby to the daycare and then go to University of Ibadan for my program and then come back home. So that support was very, very important for me. Now, after the master's, I had to work in a bank for 6 months. That was an IT. My husband was supportive by being there to take me to the office. He could have left me to say, go and sort yourself out, go get a cab or I mean, then I was not that firm with my driving. I couldn't drive myself all that way. And he would not want me to go and enter a public transport very early because he would say, those boys have already drank something. And then you enter on Port Milan Bridge with a driver that, you know, I never thought of that really. I never saw that as an issue. So he would take me to the office and drop me in the office. And then I find my way back home. That sacrifice is not, I can't count, I mean, I can't put a value to it. It's priceless. It's priceless. So, and then of course, a career woman means that if there are meetings that she needs to attend and it is going to take into the night, that husband needs to trust his wife, that she's at work, not that she's, you know, doing other things. So trust is a very, very important aspect that helps a woman to build a career. And looking at it, celebrating you when you know, make good, you know, outcomes out of your career is the best way that a man supports you. And the most important part of it is that everybody is a beneficiary to that woman that is rising. She's carrying your name, for crying out loud. So support her and help her to thrive, you know. Let it be that you say, yeah, that's my babe, yeah, that's my woman. But it can't happen if you are still that traditional man that believes that my soup must be cooked in the morning. I cannot eat yesterday's soup. When you want to serve me, you must put on all the dishes and blah, blah, blah. And she's working somewhere. How? In Lagos or in a remote town? Maybe in a remote town, she can afford to do all that when she comes back from work. But I'm even tired. So how can I go and then do all that? Does not mean that you're not going to make sacrifices to as a woman or that you're not going to be there for the man. But being there, the man needs to be very supportive, needs to know that it is for a season. She's not always going to be up and unavailable. The time you are preparing for exams is just for that period. So support. And when she's out of it, when she gets a better job, and then she has a driver, then you enjoy it too. So it's a process, and that process takes time. But for the women that are not married, for the young women, as I said, be intentional with the relationships you build. You need somebody to onboard, onboarding your worries, your cares to. You need somebody who you can pray together, who you can share together. And you can't do that when you don't have a relationship with people. And you can't also survive on your own. You can't survive on your own. So be intentional about relationships you build and be very, very, very intentional about who you date also as a young lady. You know, some of those vibes, you will pick it as you are dating. So when you are picking it and you are seeing that, okay, this is where it's looking like, quietly exit and then look for somebody with like minds, somebody who is your cheerleader, who will always be ready to support you.
Thank you. I like how you picked on the question I was going to ask, which is what some things are that the single women can be on the lookout for when they want to get someone, especially if she already has something going on for herself. So those things, maybe just some extra specific, some of the things that the woman should be on the lookout for.
Okay, so have serious conversations. You know, when you are dating, have serious conversations. When I say serious conversations, talk about how you want your home to be, what values you want to instill, how many children you want to have, where do you want to settle down, and all that. Talk about finances. Don't leave that aspect and say, well, God will provide. Of course, God will provide. The issue is that you need money to run a home. You need money to take care of a child. Are we going to have a child immediately we get married, or we'll just wait for about 2 years because of the finances? What kind of school do we want our kids to go to? Have those serious conversations. It is in the conversations that you will know whether your values are aligned. Also, how does he treat the females in his life? His mother, his sister, his friends, his colleagues. How does he talk about them? You see, he's not going. He's loving you now and telling you you are the only reason why he's existing. But hey, you will join the number immediately. You will be just like the sister or just like the mom that he's been complaining about. That's a very, very important part of it, really. And most importantly, is just, hey, be prayerful about it. Don't make your decisions only on what you see. Because commitment is what makes a marriage. It is not the love. It's not the butterflies in your stomach. Those butterflies, you will be looking for it in 6 months. Why are they not flying again? Because your eye has opened now. So reality is here now. That guy that is always looking sharp and dappy when he wakes up in the morning, or when he removes his shoes, it will smell, because that's the natural thing about life. And now it's not even that organized. Look at this house. Why is everything? Hey, marriage is about commitment. You make a commitment to stick to it, you stick to it. And with the help of God, both of you work out your differences, because you will have differences. There is nobody, no marriage that is perfect.
Thank you so much for that. It reminds me of the quotes they say that love is blind, but marriage is an eye-opener, because you see things.
In fact, very eye-opener. You don't need glasses.
Well, let's go back to that topic of finance, especially financial independence and the role it plays in the life of a woman who's thriving. So what would be some of the tips that you would share for a woman who's trying to build every aspect of her life so that she thrives, so that some maybe financial literacy tips for the woman who's seeking to thrive in every aspect?
Finance is another area that married women also struggle. A lot of married women struggle with, and it's because we are selfless. Get married, and the next thing, you're thinking about your husband, you're thinking about your children at the expense of yourself, at the expense of your future, at the expense of the things you need to do to build your career. Do you understand what I'm saying? So everything becomes, your life becomes secondary, and their own life becomes primary. I must do this, I must do that. So as you are making the money, you are spending it. As you are making the money, you are spending it, and you don't have anything to keep for yourself. So I used to work with a boss who says a woman should have a she money, she time. So if you earn 100,000, make 10,000 your she time. Of course, you have removed your tithes. God's money is God's money, but have something that is for yourself. Then what you have left, you should plan it around things that, your plans and your family and all that. And for those who are getting married, building their homes, the money will not be enough. It can't be enough, because you are just coming up. Just like a fresh graduate who is earning, and you think that all that money will be enough. It won't be enough. So you must learn to deny yourself delayed gratification. It's very, very important to build a financial independence tomorrow. You must know how to practice delayed gratification. You don't need to buy all the bags. You don't need to buy all the shoes. You need to manage your income. In fact, cut your coat according to your size. Even when you become a married woman and you feel that you want to do this because this is what other women are doing, close your eyes. You don't have to buy all the ashwebis. You don't have to, so you just have to be very prudent about it and very frugal, especially when you are just coming up, because the resources are limited. That's the truth. The resources are limited. Savings culture is something I learned from my parents. And that has helped me a lot. The fact that you must know how to save. But the money is not enough. Yes, it's not enough. Even if you spend all of it, it's still not enough.
Never.
So deny yourself. Have a savings culture. make sure you know how to practice delayed gratification, but also make sure that you take care of yourself. A healthy woman is a wealthy woman. Don't over concentrate on giving everything to others. You know, you are so generous. My brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my siblings, my everything at the expense of yourself. You must have a plan. You know, so some of us don't know how to do budgets per se. I don't do budgets, but if you are very prudent to that extent that you can draw up your budget, this is my income, this is my expenses, this is the savings, fine, no problem. But for me, I enjoy the fact that I'm able to do some savings, investments, okay, investments. Now these days, you have a lot of platforms online that are legit, not Cebexo, that are legit that you can use to be saving, even if it's 5,000 on a weekly basis. You can be dropping it in, you know, those kind of apps that the money is there for emergencies. But for your regular spending, this is how much you earn. This is how much you're going to use for transport. This is how much you're going to use for groceries. So plan it and work within it. Does not mean that there are no days that you not say, oh, you want to spoil yourself, you want to take yourself to one eatery and all that, but just have that culture. And then consistency over time helps you to build what you can say, oh, I have something substantial. There are assets that are depreciating, there are assets that are appreciating. Let your investment be in the appreciating assets. Okay? This is not a finance class, but very, very straightforward.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the depreciating assets. The cars are depreciating. The house does not depreciate. The land cannot depreciate. So it's about value, the values you place on yourself. If you are focused more on what others are doing and how they are doing it, and how the kind of car they are carrying or the bags they are carrying, the clothes they are wearing and all
The
that.
waves.
Do you know that when I travel, my children know me, you know, where my husband, he doesn't mind, he buys as he likes it. I buy discounts. They are my kids. They don't like going out with me whenever we travel, because it's like, oh, mommy will not buy what you like. She will buy what is cheap. And I tell them that, how can I travel all this way and now be spending so much? No, let's be prudent. But my husband is a bit liberal when it comes to spending money. So, and that's another thing with financial planning. When you are matching yourself, make sure you match yourself with somebody that compliments, not the one that worsens it.
True.
If I am the type of person that doesn't spend, and my husband too does not spend money, oh wow, the kids will have it.
Yeah.
So that balance helps a lot, you know, but everybody must be prudent about finances. And that's why before you marry, talk about it.
Hmm.
It's very important.
Thank you. I feel like you have touched on key aspects of the woman's life and what helps her to thrive, and that is just so important. And I would say on a final note, what will be a word that you would leave with the woman who desires to thrive and just stop being stuck? You know, there are times that you can have that feeling of, I should be more. I am more. I deserve more. So what would you say to such a woman?
Okay, I would say to the woman, please dream, 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 dream big, dream large. You know, imagine that you have a blank sheet of paper and with your eyes closed, envision the best possible life for yourself, limitless and bold. I encourage you to write it down. I encourage you to dream it, unrestricted, you know. It may look like it's fantasy, it may look like it, but that's where it starts from. Because if you can't dream it, you can't live it. If you can't envision it, it's never going to happen. But when you envision it, you find out that, you know, it's just like you want to buy a car, and then every car you see on the road is just like that particular type of car. It's about your mindset. So rearrange your mindset to those things that you have envisioned, you have dreamed for yourself, and work it. Don't dream without working. Work
Mm,
it. Thank you very
mm.
much.
Thank you. And I will make a reference to one of my, I think we had this in when we had the chats, some of the quotes that I extracted from your book that I really do love. And
Okay.
again, it's some are born with advantages and others create their own opportunities. So I will leave you with that you can thrive as a woman. Yes, there are things that look like they're the barriers that you have to deal with, but you can create it. And no, this is not some aspire to perspire talk. It's real. You can create your own opportunities. And speaking about your book, how can people find it online? Or how can they
Okay,
find it generally?
it's available on Seller. Okay, so I can drop the link for you, and anybody that wants it can click on that link and buy. And of course, it will be available in some bookshops very soon, and also provide that details later.
All right, thank you. And your social media handles, just in case someone is trying to connect with you.
Okay, Adeogun Oladotun. Adeogun Oladotun. That's my Instagram handle. Also on Facebook and on LinkedIn as well.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. It was a lovely chat with you. And
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed
cheers
my.
to greater heights and thriving and thrivings with other women.
Bye.
Bye. All right, we're done for today. Next week we'll go again on Soul Sisters from 11 till 11:50 right here on Smooth 98.1. And you can catch up with the repeat of this conversation on YouTube. Simply search for @Smooth 981 FM Lagos, @Smooth 981 FM Lagos. I think you should share it with a woman and even a man as well. They can glean from this conversation. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun.
Is it? This is a woman.
Thank you.
I enjoyed myself. It was
I
lovely.
did as
Yeah?
well. Thank
Well
you.
done. Well done. All right, now take care of yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
So help
Bye.
me send the link again to me, the YouTube link, please.
Yeah, sure. I will.